this tutorial, I will be showing you how to add note cards so that you can take notes as you're doing your research within your project on Noodletools. So here I am on the main page of Noodletools, and I'm going to click on the project that I'm working on. In the last video, I showed you how to add a source from a database and create a citation for it. And I also showed you how to create a citation for a website. So far from my project, I have 2 sources, but I haven't taken any notes yet. And that's my next step. So from here, we're going to go to the sidebar where it says Note Cards. And once we click on Note Cards, you'll see that a new button shows up at the top that says New Note Card. We're going to click on New Note Card. And what we see here is a place where we can record all sorts of information about specific sources. The cool thing about Noodletools is your teacher can actually designate what exactly they want you to put in these boxes. So your teacher would like you to add a quote here, or your own words here, or your original thinking here. They're in control of what these boxes say. And it helps you basically organize your thoughts, keep your information straight, and tie the source to the notes that you're taking. So all the information you found from each specific source falls under that note card. You know exactly where you got every piece of your information. So I'm going to show you how to set up one of these note cards. And for this note card title, we're going to be investigating leadership in ancient Egypt. So let's go ahead and give that title. And our source, I'm going to click on source. These are the 2 sources that I've already added. If I did not add any sources as my first step, there wouldn't be any drop downs here. That's why it's important to add your source so that you can tie your notes to your specific source and make sure you know where you got that information. So I'm going to click on Key Figures of Ancient Egypt. That's where I'm going to find my information. So the tags line you don't need to fill in. It basically helps you categorize the types of information you can find here. It helps you connect with other researchers so that you can collaborate and perhaps share notes. So as an example, let's just add hashtag Pharaoh. So this is the instance where we would do a close reading of the article that we are citing and finding the information that we want to be able to note later on. So you want to make sure to give a good read. And as you're reading, if there's anything that stands out to you, we're going to go back and forth to our Noodletools note card and paste in or write down what we want to remember about this source. We have a direct quotation here, which means that we can copy directly from the text. We know that that would be a quote that we could include in our research and that those words are not our own. One of the interesting things to note about this particular article that highlights specific rulers in ancient Egypt is a pharaoh called Amenhotep IV. He later changed his name to Aten, and he had a great impact on religion and what that looked like for the future of Egypt. So I thought this was a pretty interesting quote. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come over to my note card and under direct quotation, I'm going to stick that here. I'm going to make sure I have quotations around it so that I know those words are not my own. And because these notes fall under direct quotation, I know they're not my own. And I'm not going to put this inside my presentation or my paper unless it has quotations around. In this box, I would start writing some notes. You can add bullet points if you'd like. You just do this little drop down here. So if I were to summarize this article, it talked about the most important rulers in ancient Egyptian history and what they did throughout their reign that made them stand out. And these are the 3 that were highlighted. And next to their names, I might mention a few of the reforms or the decisions that they made them memorable rulers in Egypt. You can actually add pictures inside of your note cards. You click on this little landscape view here. I'm going to press upload, choose file. You're going to send the picture to the server. It's kind of like a third-party deal here. And then you can press OK, and your picture will be inserted underneath. Now remember, just like any other creative work, you did not take this picture, therefore you have to give credit to the person who did. And one of the great things about finding images on databases is it also gives you the citation for pictures. So I recommend finding pictures on databases so that you can properly cite any photos you use for your research. And then under My Ideas, after I've read the article, This is the place where I would write down my original thoughts, what I thought about the article. When you have recorded all of your notes for this source, you can save it and close, and you'll see that you have a little box that pops up that acts as your note card. If you were to click on your note card, double click on it, it opens up and shows you what you have here. Once you get to your tabletop view of your note cards, you can change the colors as well so you can organize your notes. Let's take a look at another project that I have set up here. So for this project, I have 4 different note cards, and each one has a different color so that I can easily see the difference. They are all linked to a specific project. If I wanted to stack them or pile them up, I can do that. I can drag it one on top of the other and create a pile title. So if I wanted to do Ancient Egypt as my pile title, now they're all stacked together. If you click on Detail View, you can see your note cards laid out like this. All of my note cards are unpiled, and it will show you a quick view of what you have under each one of your notes. If you hop over to the Sources view, it will tell you how many note cards you have tied to each source. And you can also do a quick look at your source by clicking on those orange boxes. It tells you the source that you have here, and then you can also view the notes that you've taken using that source. So you could scroll down and do that for all of them. In this video, I showed you how to create note cards so that you can tie the sources that you've used for your research with the specific information you found from each source. In the next video, I will show you how you can export your notes and export your sources, and then also create a formal works cited page that you can send to Google Docs.